Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again, and this time we are playing 60 card. That's right, you heard it here first. 60 card Synchron. So apparently this is what a lot of the Synchron players are doing. A lot of people are upping their deck size to like 50 or 60, mainly because they have the room to, and with some of the new cards like On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel, you can fulfill your fantasy of being Yusei. Assault Synchron, another insane card that the deck has gotten. So let's just think about this. It's a 60 card deck. You really want to see Junk Synchron in your opener and a way of getting a level 2 in the graveyard. So you got 3 Junk Synchrons. You have Reinforcement of the Army to get it, right? So right there, that's 4 Junk Synchrons. You have Junk Converter. That's 7 Junk Synchrons. You have 3 Tunings. That's 10 Junk Synchrons. You have 3 Overtakes. That's 13 Junk Synchrons. You have 3 Small Worlds. That's 16 possible Junk Synchrons. Then you got 3 On Your Mark, Get Set, Duel. And that is 19 Junk Synchrons. So 1/3 of your deck is a Junk Synchron. Or a Junk Converter is probably your best opener. But, I mean, if you open Junk Synchron with Maxi, you're in a pretty good place. But yeah, the deck is supposed to pretty much stomp your opponent out by going first and setting up some of our big boss monsters like Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, Baron de Fleur, Hot Red Archfiend, Tenyi. The new support this deck got that was huge was Assault Synchron. So Assault Synchron, the reason why this card's so nuts, 2 reasons. I guess Assault Synchron Stardust Dragon's also insane. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Assault Synchron is probably a bit crazier. The only reason why I'm saying this card's also insane is because if you gamma your opponent, let's say you try and activate Overtake or something, and your opponent activates something to stop it like Ash, and you gamma. Gamma lets you go into this, and then this card lets you grab the gamma from the graveyard, and then you go into a free Baron. So pretty good. Free Baron off of gamma seems pretty good to me. But yeah, Assault Synchron, this card's nuts because when a Dragon Synchro monster is tributed or banished, you can banish this card from the graveyard and then special summon it to the field. So why is that crazy? Well, it's crazy because it works with the Cell Synchro Stardust effect, because you can banish this card's effect. No, you can tribute this card, which then special summons Stardust Dragon from your extra deck, right? And it also works with Shooting Majestic Star Dragon's negate. So when you can banish this card to negate an activation of a card effect or a card, right? You literally use the Assault Synchron to bring it back on the field and get a second negate. So we're talking about you could set up a lot of Omni negates against your opponent. A little too many. But we'll see how the deck performs. You guys will watch some of the game footage. We're starting at Duelist level 17. I tanked a bit, testing out a bunch of stuff. And we're going to see where we end off at. All right. Hello and welcome to game number 1 against Zayad. And we are playing against Sprite. And our hand looks pretty okay, actually. Our hand's not great. It's definitely not great against Sprite because Harpy's Feather Duster is really not going to do much. The only thing it's going to do is perhaps take out, if he ends up getting, if he ends up adding Smashers or whatever, which I don't think he does. I think he got Starter there, just so he can get double negate. We're pretty much gonna have to play against the most ideal board besides minus the Smashers that this deck usually produces. So it's a pretty good test. Pretty good test, stress test for us. Our hand's looking baller. This is the biggest mistake our opponent does. I thought this game would just instantly be over, but because all he has to do is activate Sprite Red to negate Converter. But I know for a fact Sprite players are extremely greedy, and they would rather use the Sprite Alpha effect first before using the Monster Negate, which it's already going to be over for him. Because now he's going to go into Mech Knight Avermax, which is fine. Don't really care. What do you guys see wrong about this now? Now he has no level 2 Link or Eggsy monster that he can do to pop my Junk Synchron. So now my Clawcrow is going to let me extend. So he's pretty much... It's pretty much an instant loss for him. We're going to activate Illumination to force Carrot. Technically, we didn't even have to play this, but... And now we're going to extend. He negates. He probably feels real smart. And then I go into Junk Speeder and just laugh at him. I'm like, okay. Now we add Arrive in Light. Which I don't think we're going to need this match. Because when you go second with this deck can OTK very easily. So you just look for the OTK. You don't actually try and set up a board or anything. Because it's kind of silly to set up a board when you just kill your opponent. So yeah, we're going to add that because there's no other options there. Summon this, Arrive in Light. Bada bing. Here comes that. Double Star Shaman. Draw. So if you're wondering why, so this card, this card you can miss the trigger on Converging Wills. I purposely did that because I wanted Celestial Double Star effect to summon these two 2/2s because I can use the secondary effect on Arrive in Light to special summon this from the hand. But we go into Chen Ying. Go into this. Go into Baron. Bring this back. And he's pretty much dead. Pop. Bye-bye. If you guys didn't know, Chen Ying is our out to Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. So, seems pretty easy, doesn't it? Alrighty, we're here at game number 2 against whatever that is. So, Maxi. I know it looks strange, but you have to do it if you want to go into a 5. If our opponent has Ash here, I'd probably just punch myself. I thought that was better. I thought that was better than going into using Junk Converter, because if he had Ash, it just stops our play immediately. So here we combo. Actually hit a really good card off the top, which is Assault Synchron. Here comes Jet Synchron, boom, boom, and now we go to Celestial Double Shaman. Here comes the 2/2s. Hyper Librarian. Arrive in Light. Rudy Rose. So Rudy Rose is literally used as easy way to go into Majestic Star. We draw Converging Wills. Boom, boom. There's shooting Majestic Star. Now we get to keep drawing like 1,000 cards. And with Hyper Librarian, just make sure you don't miss triggers with the Converging Wills card. Now Hot Red Archfiend. Looking pretty sweet, pretty juicy. So see, now that since Casserole got banished, I can bring it back with Assault Synchron. Draw. I can use Stardust Synchron to bring it back. And we go into Baron de Fleur. Now we could use the Assault Synchron in our hand to go into Chen Ying. Reinforcement. We add Doppel Warrior. Just thin out the deck a little. And then we pass with a Maxi up. We cast Maxi. He activates Crossout. I use the first negate. I use this negate because it's probably the worst negate we have, and we still have 3 Omni negates. He only has 4 cards left. So I was going to activate Adamancipator Research. We negate that. He activates Kokimiru negate. I negate that. You might be saying, well, now you have nothing else, right? Well, no, because this is why I position the cards the way I do, right? This gets banished. And now I use Assault Synchron to bring it back. So remember how I said now I have an extra negate because this is not once per turn. This is like soft once per turn. Another thing too is shooting Majestic Star banishes itself. So if he somehow can extend like 2 cards, I can use Cheng Ying's last effect to just start banishing the cards when I negate the other card. So that's the reason why I do it. He concedes, and it is over. GG. Alrighty, we're here with game number 3 against Burt Deathbar, and our hand is actually pretty decent. We're going to have to take a really risky move here, though, with using this Cheng Converter. But we do have Synchro Overtake, so it wasn't that risky. I'm going to say this deck has an extreme weakness, but the thing is, the weakness this deck has is not really in the format much. But for some reason, I kept playing against it all night. So you guys are going to see. I get Nibiru. This is normally like the killer of the deck. But not many people are running Nibiru right now. Like, it's not really played because it's bad against tier. But Burt Deathbar, he outsaw the meta. And he's like, I know I'm going to play against this deck. So, but look, I just want to show you how resilient this deck is with the new support. So, first we go into Excel Synchron. Bring that back. Jet Synchron comes out. We go into Celestial Double Dragon. Boom. This, I honestly wasted that effect. I'm going to use this card's effect anyway to go into Stardust Dragon. So you go to Hyper Librarian. This is a cool effect with Hyper Librarian. So when you activate Excel Synchron, since you Synchro Summon Stardust Dragon and then you immediately go into another Synchron, you actually get 2 draws from the Hyper Librarian. So you see how you chain? It's actually kind of sweet. So I draw into Caligo Clawcrow. Boom. Herald of Arclight. Honestly, not that bad. For getting Nibiru, I'm going to kill his Nibiru, and we still have 2 Omni Negates, and this card screws over tier if he's playing it. Pop. And our opponent is playing Mathmex. So you activate Sigma from the hand because obviously you can't really send it to the graveyard. We just pop this immediately. So I make a very rational, like I think it was a rational decision because there's 2 options that were going to happen here. I let him go into his rank 4, right? And then he just goes to combat and kills Herald, right? Or I negate this now and just hope he doesn't have Circular. If he doesn't have Circular, we're fine and we'll probably win the game. So I negate here. Because if I just let him go into the rank 4, he just attacks over. Unless he's an idiot, it's the only thing that would happen. Goes into Lingeribo. Him going to Lingeribo means he has nothing else. And since it is my turn, it is pretty much going to be over. I think he's going to concede real soon. I am surprised he's not conceding, to be honest. Rudy Rose. Okay, I just don't think he concedes. Never mind then. Shooting Majestic. Pop. Attack. Boom. Solo shop. I'm jading UK. Was it Yusei? UK? Where the fuck it is? I'm not jaded. What's that guy's name? The guy with the motorcycle. Yusei Fudo. Yusei Fudo. I'm Yusei Fudo, guys. Hello, we are here for game number 4. And I know there's going to be some there that's going to be like, well, Yusei Fudo. You said Jaden, you get first. You're not a true fan. So this is a play you do if you end up opening a carrier, or if you have Stardust Synchron with Ready, Set, Go. and you don't have any other way of getting level 2 in the graveyard, this is a way you would actually extend the board. You're not going to be... We actually got lucky. We have conversion wheels. So perhaps we might be able to go into shooting Stardust, but either way, we're at least able to do junk speeder play, and we get Nibiru again. So you might be saying, wow, that's pretty unlucky. And I would say, yeah, it is pretty unlucky. But surprising, like, this deck has like a good amount of resilience. Like, surprising amount of resilience. It's really weird. I don't think this board is as good as the last board. I think I fuck up on something, to be honest. So I use this. Assault Synchro brings back our level 8. So here's the 8. 2. The 1. No, I don't think I could have done anything here. I think this is just the best board we could have made. I think I played that well. So we got Barret and we got Stardust. Stardust actually comes into play. He uses Lightning Storm. So Stardust Dragon actually gets used as a fact. And what's better than a Lightning Storm, guys? A Regeki. He just needs a Silver Fang to complete the combo. Silver Fang Wolf. And yeah. Our opponent does something really bizarre here. I thought he was actually going to have like be able to extend. The thing about Granite Gant, right? So if he can't actually search Block Dragon. He doesn't have enough Earth types monsters in the graveyard. If he search Adamancipator Researcher, right? The only card he would only be able to go into Rabtite. In Rabtite, he cannot activate. So actually, the play he's going to do right now it's like it's bad, but it's not as bad as you think. So he activates Gallant Granite, and he adds Amanawata. So the reason why he does this is because I'm like 99% sure he believes that like Stardust Dragon will not come back if Amawata's on the field, which is that's not the case. So I don't know why like he would do that, but like his reasoning was like decent. I guess he'll never make that mistake again. Because after Stardust Dragon comes back, he just concedes. And that's going to be a GG. Hello. We are here with the final game against Khan. And we're going second. And our opponent opens the one of Foolish Burial Goods to his Tearlaments deck. So I'm sure you guys are very interested to see how this goes. I have Max C, so you're probably like, Max C's going to carry him. Watch. Watch. Max C's going to carry him. No, it doesn't. You actually thought we were resolving a Max C? You must have been joking. Pretty unfortunate. So he is going to do Tearlaments things. I am going to fast forward because Tearlaments things are pretty boring to watch. And they're pretty basic. So he's going to mill 8. Yeah, he gets a mill 10. Gets a mill 10, search for a monster, grab a trap. Pretty neato, huh? I love that. Isn't this awesome? Isn't this wonderful? This is like pressing yes simulator. Hitting the shiny button simulator. That's what this reminds me of. Alright. Well, that's a pretty powerful board. He has Crime, Soliak, Ricelios Negate, and his IP Sprite Elf, which you can go into Nightmare Unicorn or everyone's been going into Avermax, so Avermax, I guess. And this is our hand. This Maxi is negated, so I can't do anything with that. He ends up shuffling these cards back into his deck with that. He still has a Keldeo, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just sitting here trying to bait effects out of him. I'm trying to bait Ricelios. I'm trying to bait all this shit. So we got Ricelios negate. Like, legit, this is all I'm trying to do the entire time. Just trying to bait out his effects. I play Arrive and Wait. That's why these plays look really weird. I'm just trying to bait it out. But Someone actually pointed out that crime, you actually need to set a monster from your hand. So this kind of signifies he has no monsters in hand. Otherwise, he would have just crime negated this. But he could have activated Soliak. This is what confuses me. I go into Junk Speeder. Right? Oh, he actually does Soliak negate me. Okay. So that's actually fine. But he must not have no monsters in hand. Okay. Drua. Negated. Pretty bad for me. We go into Sword Soul Chen Ying. So Sword Soul Chen Ying, I'm going to tell you this right now. Solek makes it very difficult because I have to pretty much get rid of the Avermax that's going to end up coming. But if they didn't have Soliak, Chen Ying is actually really hard for their deck to deal with. But actually, never mind. He just Kaleido Heart me. Take everything back. If he can't go into Kaleido Heart, it's hard to deal with, I guess. So if he can't go into Kaleido Heart and he can't use his trap, it's hard to deal with. Alright, we're going to activate Small World. Grab Junk Synchron for the following turn. Okay, we're going to be able... So this is huge because we're going to be able to banish Crusadia, and we're going to be able to snipe kick Kalios because he didn't protect it. So that means when Rukelios goes to the graveyard, he'll never be able to go back into this card. Boom. Boom. Alright, let's see what he top decks. Top decks Meryl. Pretty good. Actually, I literally was saying if he top decks a monster, I just lose because he just activates Soliak. But something I didn't realize, since he keeps activating his fucking shufflers to shuffle back his cards, like a moron, right? He does kill my Chen Ying right now, right? So he does kill Chen Ying. But now he can't actually fuse into anything because he can't go into he can't go into Kit, and he doesn't have enough Aquas in the graveyard. And he just concedes because he knows I have Junk Synchron. So that's how you style on a sweaty ass tier. This is my TED Talk. We will get to the recap and we'll talk about how the deck did. Hello, welcome to the recap. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing so I can hit my 10,000 subscriber goal. If I don't hit that, I'm going to go a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Also, join our Discord. Our Discord is the area where we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's generally just a good community. And also, we have tournaments every week on Fridays. They're fun tournaments. A lot of different rule sets, so if you guys like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, it is great to join. The link's down below. So let's talk about how the deck did. The deck did phenomenally well. Like, I climbed from 17 to like 19 and like a few wins, maybe like 2 wins away from 20. I didn't bother grinding the last bit. I just don't care. I was thinking about doing it, but then I was like, my mental health just playing this game, I didn't want to take the risk on that. Yeah, the deck did perform very well. Like, we climbed pretty quickly, and we did it all on stream. So, for just picking up the deck and learning it for just a bit before I started streaming, I think the deck performed very, very well. Now, I will say, I think the deck, piloting it is definitely going to be a bit difficult. It's probably because there's so many options to do. Knowing which one is the right and correct choice to do is going to be very important for this deck. And I found myself sometimes I would have too many options. I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes I'd be like, I have like 30 things I could do right now. What's the best thing for me to do first? And with a timer having 300 seconds on there, you don't have that much time to think about it. you kind of have to act pretty decisively. So the more you practice with the deck, I assume the better you're going to get with it. And the better you get with it, the better your results are going to be. It's not like tier where you can just hit yes to everything and you'll probably do fine. Because if you hit yes to everything, you're probably not going to do fine. Some interactions I think that weren't shown in the match that you guys should know is on your mark, get set, duel. Card's very good, but if you pretend if you activate this and someone ashes you, if you try to react to it by activating Crossout Designator or Call by the Grave, this card will not activate anyway. Like, the effect will not work because by the time the chain link ends, there's a card still on the field. So yeah, it's very important to activate this. And if your opponent ashes it, you just say, okay, they ashed it. Because it's not going to work regardless. So that's one unfortunate thing about it. The secondary effect on it is actually really good too. But it's like, it never comes up because you usually win on turn 1 or 2. Or sometimes turn 3, but you usually don't. It never goes long enough for you to actually get the effect going off. So you place a signal counter, then you remove 2 signal counters, send it to the graveyard, and then draw 2 cards. Then send 1 card. It's pretty much a little hand shuffle almost. It's really good. But yeah, the Assault Synchron performed extraordinarily well. I wouldn't replace a single card on this list. The only thing I think that could be somewhat replaceable would be probably Rudy Rose. You can say, oh, Rudy Rose, you might want to change out for something else. But I found this card a very nice and easy bridge to going into shooting Majestic Star just with 1 card. So I personally liked it. Evenly matched. Didn't come up a whole lot. Mainly because I didn't really draw it during the night. With the 60 card deck, that's kind of normal. But yeah, the main deck was really solid. Like, I don't know if I would add anything else. You could possibly go up 1 on the... You could probably go up to 3 Assault Synchrons, but I don't even think it's necessary, really. But the card is really good. Or maybe you can, if you're going to end up cutting out the Evenlies, you can go higher on the Lightning Storm or something. I wouldn't cut the Evenlies, though, because it gives you a good going second game plan. Too, like if you're just playing against an opponent who set up a massive negate board, but they're not like, if you play against tier and you have evenly match and you can bait out crime, yeah, this card will just completely bone them. You'll probably just instantly win the game. So, yeah, there's that. On a tier list of what I would rate, 1 to 10 power level, what I would rate this. I would actually rate this deck like an 8.5. It's like, it feels very good. Yeah, people can interrupt your combo, but you've seen how resilient it was. I got Nibiru multiple games, and we won. I think I won most, or not, if not all of the games I got Nibiru, which is kind of surprising. I would have never thought this deck could ever do that. But yeah, other than that, on a tier list, I'm going to put this at a tier 3 deck. I think it's really good. I think it's really solid. I think more people are starting to play it. I'm starting to see it more on the Master Duel Meta website too. And the great thing about this deck is it doesn't really play with the graveyard that much. Like, you don't really activate that many cards from the graveyard. So if you do get Abyss Dweller, you could kind of play through it. It is still annoying, but that's another thing I really like about the deck. The Gammas, I know the Gammas are supposedly really good, but it was just kind of annoying how they just never work for me. I would still keep them in the deck just because, like, the effects are extremely powerful. So if they do work, it's probably almost an instant win. But dude, the amount of times I like try and bait out like Ash or something, and they just save Ash or something for the Junk Speeder, I'm just like, yeah, it's already too late for the Gamma. You want them to Ash like Synchro Overtake or Reinforcement or something. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you want to see next, and goodbye.